What's good, guys? Today we're watching, it says, the most deadliest sniper in history, Simo Hayha. Yeah, let's get in.
Simo would have wanted it that way. All right, let's
The
get
White
sniping.
Death.
As you might imagine, the invading Soviet soldiers grew to be straight up terrified of Hayha. Having to patrol the blanched Finnish wilderness with the knowledge that Hayha could be out there waiting to ping them with a spectacular long-distance shot earned him the nickname Deadliest, which is Russian for White Death.
Well,
However,
Russians
Hayha's
named you.
fellow
That's cool.
Finnish soldiers had a completely different name for him. They called him Taika Ampuja, Magic Shooter. While that nickname may have been as accurate as Hayha himself,
No,
we have to
but
admit it is
White
somewhat
Death
less
sounds
intimidating
better.
than White Death. Simo's exact sniper count varies depending on the source. Some suggest he downed as many as 542 Soviet soldiers with his rifle, but no one claims he eliminated any less than 505. This makes him the most effective sniper in any war, with Soviet sniper Ivan Sidorenko sitting at a close second with 500 kills. However, Hayha's count may even be higher. Rather than stay at a comfortable distance behind his sniper rifle for the entire war, Hayha may have also cut down several hundred enemy combatants with a submachine gun. If true, that would put his count at approximately 800. Simo, that is a frightening number.
That's good.
Impressive, sure, but
That's
holy
pretty good.
cow, you're really good at your job. The Winter War lasted for a single winter, as its name suggests, which means Hayha was putting
Yo, but if I don't know, man, this is pretty cool. This is winter though. I wonder if I'd eat a person if it came down to that. Like, let's say you're fighting in the snow and your guy dies, but like, there's a cave. Let's say there's a cave nearby and you're hungry and it's winter, bro. You have to go on and you got to kill some other people. I feel like I'd eat my friend because I feel like he'd forgive me though because he's dead. So I feel the part I'd eat would probably the thigh or the arm, any part with muscle. I'd avoid the genitals as much as possible in the butt, but I'd definitely eat my friend if it came to that. Because imagine how many soldiers have to eat each other. Well, not nowadays, not now, but back then I'm sure you could eat your friend before they stink and move on, and just take their, I guess some hair to give their families, as like something to like remember them or something.
Serious work. In order to achieve his staggering record, Hayha was eliminating an average of 5 to 6 enemy soldiers every day.
Ooh.
Of course, some days were better than others. Hayha racked up a terrifying 40 confirmed kills in a single day, scoring 25 and 20 on 2 other record days. The cloud of perpetual death in which he lived saw him promoted from corporal to second lieutenant, the biggest rank jump in the history of Finland's military.
Man, Finland needs him again. No scope?
Legendary sniper count.
Yo, this guy had an
to use the plain
autobot.
old iron sight on his rifle. Yeah,
It's like he's
no
camping
scope.
on
He's just an
enemy
all-around
territory and he
old-fashioned
just comes
badass.
out.
Beyond being hardcore, there was a strategic reason for this, beyond just showing off. Hayha recognized that scopes made his enemies an easy target. In addition to making the target slightly bigger, scopes would glint in the sunlight, allowing Hayha to spot enemy snipers before they spotted him. At the time, every Finnish citizen was required to do 1 year of military service, and Hayha had done his 14 years earlier, back in 1925. That was the extent of his military experience.
Man,
He
when
did
you're in the
join
army,
Finnish Civil Guard as reservist, which is essentially the equivalent to the U.S. National Guard, but he stuck to his civilian life of hunting and farming right up until the Soviets decided to invade in 1939, at which point he was...
No, but I understand why like these army guys always retire and go find simple, life like on farms. Honestly, because I'm sure like I'd be addicted to crack too if I was in the army. Like, you're literally killing people. So if you're on crack, you'll be fine. Just kill somebody, and afterwards you're straight. I feel like you'll forget after all those drugs wear out. What's the best drug to be addicted to? Maybe something psychedelic, so you could be like, oh shoot, it was just a dream. I didn't really kill them, because that means you're still innocent. That'd make killing easier. Probably, we'll see.
Summoned back to service. If his hunting record was anything like his war record,
Ooh, look
we
at
suspect
that.
the deer around Hayha's home had a nickname for him too. After he completed his
What?
year of mandatory service in 1925, Hayha was given the option to purchase his service weapon, a standard bolt-action
Why
rifle.
not give it
He
for
bought the
free?
gun and spent the next decade and a half mastering it. When he was called back to duty during the Winter War, Hayha brought his old bolt-action rifle, turning down a more modern rifle with advanced optics. The extreme cold, which ranged anywhere from -20 to
This guy was a
-40
genius,
degrees
too.
Fahrenheit, caused frequent weapon malfunctions among his fellow soldiers. But Hayha's experience with his bolt-action BFF allowed him to keep the gun functional throughout the winter.
The competitive shooter. You compete for kills. This
While
is
only having minimal military
Wow.
experience, Hayha wasn't possessed by the Lord of Incredible Aim. He developed his skill from being a competitive sharpshooter, having grown up a few miles away from the Civil Guard shooting range, which held annual contests. Hayha regularly participated in these competitions, packing his house full of trophies. Among his accomplishments was the ability to hit a target with his rifle 16 times in a minute at a range of 500 feet, a talent best described as supernatural.
held off. Whoa, wait,
Hayha.
what? Hayha and 31 other Finns held off 4,000 Soviets. Man, another one of Russia being like put down by lesser, more inferior countries. I mean, look at what's happening now. 31 held off 40,000. Yo, I'm not even gonna lie. There's no way. This is impressive in all ways. But then they could have had like a terrain advantage, so you never
Was
know.
deployed to the Kola battlefield.
But 4,000
where
is
he and 31
4,000.
other soldiers were tasked with holding off an invading force of 4,000 Soviet troops. Despite having fewer men on the roster than a college football team,
What?
Hayha's group managed to hold their ground for the entire winter.
That's sad
Good
for the
goal line
Soviets,
defense right
bro.
there. He and his fellow Finns had a few other advantages beyond his Angel of Death status as a sniper. For instance, the Soviet troops all wore bright green uniforms, which made them stand out
Oh.
like decorated Christmas trees against the snowy white landscape. What also didn't help the Soviets was they lacked officers with any leadership skills, mainly
that makes
because Stalin
sense.
had them all executed when he purged the USSR of any potential political opponents. And even though the Soviet invasion of Finland was technically successful, they only managed to capture a relatively small amount of border territory.
That's the thing with these, like, with those Soviets after Stalin did that. It's like just like sheep following nothing. That's kind of sad because look at how like they make like 31 makes 44,000 look like ants. It's if they had better generals, I'm sure it would have been a bigger threat. Look at they already had the good leader. He wasn't a good leader, but he was ruthless. So he didn't really care about the people. Nah. If anything were to go down, he'd be like kill them all, something like that. Something so cold. If he only had generals, bro, to lead those troops, or if at least he could split himself, I feel like those Soviets would have took over so much of what's now. But look, they lost. So
leaving the rest
no
of
one
the
cares
country
about
intact. All told, the Soviets suffered nearly 400,000 casualties during the Winter War,
Imagine.
compared to the 66,000 suffered by Finland.
Yeah, I mean, it's because Finland barely had any people, and they had the whole world.
Most snipers shoot while lying flat on their stomachs because it gives enemies a smaller target to aim at. Hayha fired from a sitting position because he felt
he
the
was
position
short,
was
though.
better for his
He
aim.
was like 5.
He didn't worry too much about making himself a bigger
there we
target,
go.
as he was just a biscuit over 5 feet tall and would conceal himself in snowbanks and put snow in his mouth to hide his breath.
5'3", but he'll take
Additionally,
off your
Hayha
head,
would
man.
pack snow in front of his rifle barrel or pour water on it to freeze it, so that smoke would not rise from it after he fired and give away his position. And in perhaps the biggest departure from sniper etiquette, rather than going for the head, Hayha aimed for the center mass of his targets, which is effective in wartime, but won't do him any favors on the Black Ops 4 leaderboards.
That's true. But he'd probably beat a lot of people today on Black Ops too.
Hayha's reputation as the John Wick of Finnish snipers eventually drew the ire of the Soviet commanders, who finally grew tired of his nonsense and began targeting him directly.
What?
Because getting anywhere near Hayha was out of the question, they began hammering his general location with artillery strikes. When those didn't
Yo.
work, the Soviets sent teams of counter-snipers to take him out, but Hayha, being the sniper's sniper, dispatched them with bone-chilling ease. Finally,
Bro, that's an accomplishment, bro. Imagine your enemies wanting you dead. Like, you're a sniper, bro. You're not even on the front lines. They want you gone. I don't know about you guys, but that's cool. Like, when someone's after you for what you've, like, done, that's like, well, in the military at least. Because this guy, they were hiring people like, yo, we want this guy dead. Could you get the job done? What? And he's only like 5'3". Bro, you see, this is why height doesn't really matter. This guy's killing Russians that are like 6, 7 feet. He's 5'3". What? This is insane.
one Soviet sniper got lucky and blasted Hayha in the jaw with an exploding round.
Ooh.
Despite being described by one friend as
Yo,
having
he
half of his head
survived.
missing, Hayha refused to die, and after days of reconstructive surgery, he finally regained consciousness.
Let me
the
guess, he
day
went back to
after
battle?
The Winter War had ended.
Oh, he didn't go back to battle? Interesting.
Despite getting a portion of his face blown entirely off his dome in a time when medicine was still largely experimental, Hayha survived World War II and went back to hunting
Damn.
and farming. The Finnish government actually gave him a farm in 1961, presumably both to reward him for his service, and they probably wanted to stay on his good side.
They better.
Hayha took up dog breeding and continued hunting, winning the Ruokalati Hunting Society's Game Cup 5 years in a row.
Damn.
In 19
But they messed up your face, big bro. Hold on. Let me
and
see.
they probably wanted to stay on his good side. Hayha took up dog breeding and continued hunting, winning the Ruokalati Hunting Society's Game Cup 5 years.
Whoa, but they really messed up his face. Nah, I'm not gonna lie though, bro. You just took down 500 people, 500 plus, maybe 600 in 100 days, and that's all you get, bro. This guy's chilling. He could easily smoke 500 ops, bro. 600. Yo, imagine how many packs this guy would have. Every single day, he'd have a blunt named after a different person. Whoa, that's gangsta.
In a row. In
That's gotta be.
1970, he moved into a small apartment where he lived out the rest of his days before passing away at age 96.
96?
2002.
Whoa!
That's right, the deadliest sniper in World War II.
Bro, I'd be mad if he killed me and he lived 60 plus years. I know those dead guys are mad right now, like 96. Maybe
lived long
luck
enough
is
to witness
crazy.
the rise
Karma
and
didn't even come
popularity
back
of NSYNC.
to haunt him.
Simo Hayha left his quiet farm life in the winter of 1939 to become the most effective sniper in history, racking up over 500 confirmed kills without even using a scope before returning home to
No
live out the rest
scope?
of the 20th century in peace.
Dude, that's insane. Keep in mind, he probably died in the 2000s, around there, because lucky guy. Just a lucky guy, I'll say. Not even... His name is the White Death. How badass can it get? Psst, crazy. But yeah, have a nice day.